Shout out to our sponsor, Sherry's Berries.
Mother's Day isn't far off. Think she'd love some freshly dipped strawberries? Yes, she would. Send her some for $19.99.
Visit berries.com, click the microphone in the top right corner, and use offer code THEKNOW with a space. Welcome to The Know. I'm Ashely Jenkins.
I'm Ryan Haywood with glasses.
We've got more drama focusing on content ID, game publishers, and video game reviewers. Only this time, someone may have gotten the last laugh on those pesky corporations for a change. For once, the little guy wins.
Way to go, little guy. Video game, well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a little guy, but video game critic Jim Sterling, who knows a thing or two about stirring the pot a bit, released a video this week which detailed a new method of keeping publishers from monetizing his videos via content ID claims.
Weirdly enough, the method involves traffic jams of corporations battling over money, dancing with giant dildos, and the 1988 pop synth classic Chains of Love.
Yeah, okay, that one gets a little weird.
Not too weird. It all started in one of Sterling's Jimquisition videos. In this particular episode, Sterling covered the newly released Star Fox Zero by Nintendo and Platinum Games.
And before we get too far, a bit of background. We're sure you're well aware, but Nintendo has developed a bit of a reputation for being a little overzealous when it comes to copyright claims on YouTube.
Yeah, there are a mountain of instances to cite for how they've built this reputation, like when they content claimed a 2-hour episode of the Co-optional podcast because of 30 seconds of Pokemon footage.
Yeah, Nintendo has also done massive crackdowns on Let's Play videos before, and has even gone after the content of speedrunners, tearing whole channels apart.
Yeah, give them a break, man. They're still new to this whole internet thing.
No, yeah.
Only 8% of their stuff is even bought online.
Well, so back to Jim Sterling and his Star Fox Zero video. After calling Star Fox Zero a toilet fire,
Strong words,
as one does, Sterling revealed that he tried a bit of an experiment throughout the video as a means of combating YouTube's content ID system.
Because he figured Nintendo would try to make a monetization claim on the episode, Sterling purposefully used footage from other games whose publishers have also aggressively claimed his videos in the past. Grand Theft Auto 5, Beyond Two Souls, and Metal Gear Solid 5, just to name a few.
He also used copyrighted music.
Intentionally.
Yeah, deliberately used copyrighted music, since we all know that the music industry just really, they don't care, right? Anybody can use it. Yeah, it's open.
So here's what Sterling had to say. I figured every time I'm going to talk about Nintendo, I'm going to throw in other stuff that gets flagged by Content ID and just watch the corporations battle it out. In my experience, I realized it stops one company from monetizing it.
Yeah, he went on to add, where's the money going to go to? Is it going to be Nintendo or the company who owns the rights to Erasure's Chains of Love?
The video then closed with a little bit of him dancing to the copyrighted song.
Ah, yeah. All right, well, there's run-of-the-mill trolling and then there's next-level trolling. This one falls kind of into that second category.
And actually, though, the strategy worked. Naturally, people on the internet went apeshit over Sterling trolling YouTube and game publishers, so Sterling made a recap video to give people an update on the situation.
After noting how interesting it is that people talked more about the Content ID than they did about, how much he hated Star Fox Zero.
Well, Sterling hating stuff isn't news.
Well, I mean, but this was a particularly bad game, right?
He did not like it, that's true.
But he gave some interesting notes about his experience with Content ID, namely that his Jimquisition series, which uses the least amount of video game footage, often has the most claims on it.
Yeah, Sterling went ad-free some time ago. Most of his support comes from Patreon, so for him, it's less about getting money stolen and more about when one of these companies claims content and chooses to monetize it for themselves, because then that would put ads on it.
Right. It completely defeats the purpose of trying to go ad-free. And when someone else's video gets content ID'd, it can go one of two routes. A company can claim monetization on it, since content in the video belongs to them, or claim copyright on it without monetization. Not everyone does the former, but it's been known to happen.
Right, so the problem Sterling was trying to solve was that he wanted to make it impossible for the companies who frequently do claim the monetization from doing so to keep the ads off.
To quote Sterling, because if I can't make money off my own fucking work, I damn well make sure no other fucker can.
Enter solution, corporation battle.
It all started by accident, really, with a previous video Sterling did called Review Events and Boot Camps. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. But it got claims put on it by Sony, Activision, and 2 from Konami.
We all know you can't talk. It's okay.
It's been on display frequently in this video.
What ended up happening is that because all of them were disputing the video, YouTube's Content ID system essentially had a traffic jam, meaning nobody could monetize it.
According to Sterling, it's a petty little trick at its core, but it's a trick that gives me no small amount of smug self-satisfaction.
Typical Sterling. He went on to say, how messed up is it that in order to ensure the integrity of my fair use content, I have to infringe on more copyright? Provided I can predict when a video is being claimed, I can combat monetization claims, but to do that, I have to get more claims.
While this strategy might work for someone like Sterling, who doesn't rely on ads, there are plenty of creators who do rely on ads, for whom this isn't necessarily a solution. However, Sterling still says that he'd attempt it if he were in that position.
Yeah, he says respecting copyright and abiding by fair use has only ever seen ads run on the Jimquisition. That's been my reward for playing by the rules. Even if my videos were ad supported, the copyright deadlock is something I'd still do.
Then he danced with a dildo to more copyrighted music. The future of content, everyone.
Sterling's position, while extreme, does make a bit of sense. Some creators have basically sworn off covering Nintendo games rather than deal with all the nonsense. This would give them one more way to do it without just handing all the money over to someone else.
But,
I mean, it really just stops anyone from getting money.
Well, that's good and bad. I mean, it's not as many have the luxury of foregoing ads completely.
Yeah,
so.
True. I mean, for his part, Sterling does acknowledge that he's running some risks here. He could be hit with takedown strikes because of this, especially if someone like Konami or Nintendo gets tired of his shit.
But since Content ID is primarily an automated system, it's probable that he can get away with it for a little while.
Yeah, we've covered YouTube's Content ID controversies a number of times in the past. It's a system that's meant to keep companies from suing YouTube, but we're all pretty well versed by now that it's by no means perfect.
On the one hand, it's meant to help creators protect their content from being stolen and reposted, but it's also used by overreaching media companies to bully smaller content creators.
Yeah, the thing is, as unpopular as it is to say, sorry that it's going against the hype train and the fire train, the pitchfork train, the Content ID system does, for the most part, work. For the most part. Per YouTube's blog, they stated that only 1% of all Content ID claims are ever even contested, meaning that 99% of the time it's probably doing what it's supposed to.
We just kind of hear about it most from some very vocal and high-profile game reviewers who use game footage or trailers when they recount their experiences with the product.
And that's totally legitimate because that stuff is fair use.
That would be fair use.
Unfortunately, Content ID can't make that determination.
Well, yeah, if you were to take the actual man hours required to do that by hand, it would just be completely impossible.
It would be impossible.
An automated system does need to exist, but the scope of that automated system may need some addressing.
Yeah.
And while some have a particularly muddy history of flexing their ownership muscles a bit too hard,
Nintendo.
It's unlikely that many of them even realize what's going on. It's completely automatic, so they probably just set it and kind of forget about it.
Yeah, after much of the noise made about this issue, it does seem that YouTube is listening, so that's a great thing. This week they took an important step in sorting out Content ID issues.
Yeah, on their blog, YouTube announced that videos that get monetization claims will now still collect money until the claims have been sorted out. Previously, when a video got claimed, ad revenue completely stopped and went to nobody while the video continued to gain views.
Which sucks in particular if it's claimed in the first 3 days, where most videos get the majority of their views and that's all lost. It sucks. So here's what YouTube said. When both a creator and someone making a claim choose to monetize a video, we'll continue to run ads on that video and hold the resulting revenue separately. Once the Content ID claim or dispute is resolved, we'll pay out that revenue to the appropriate party. So basically, it's what everyone suggested they do all along. You guys are smart.
Hey, well, no, they listen. That's good.
Yeah.
YouTube also said it believes very strongly in fair use and equal opportunity. Of course, many will say that this is too little, too late, but hopefully it's one step in the right direction for content creators who are having to deal with this constantly.
So, hey, maybe that where's the fair use has actually had a positive effect on YouTube. You go, good thing. And maybe even the future of user-created content.
Yeah, maybe.
Good job, Internet, for once.
It's a positive step. So what do you guys think of this latest YouTube Content ID battle? Do you side with Sterling's tactics and his trolling of the system?
Let us know in the comments. And for future epic trolls and YouTube news, remember to like this video and subscribe to The Know. Thanks to Sherry's Berries for sponsoring this update.
Yeah, Mother's Day is coming faster than you think, so don't put off getting her something nice.
If you think she'd like some freshly dipped strawberries, the answer is yes, because we fight over them whenever we get some in the office, so, I mean, we'd know.
Yeah, you can send her a batch for $19.99. Just go to berries.com, click the microphone in the top right corner, and enter the code THEKNOW. Don't forget the space.
Yeah, look at this. So you can see the berries. Woo!
Whoa! That was awesome.
See, it's a party trick too. Want a berry?
Yeah, you noticed that several of them are gone. It's because they're too
because
delicious.
we keep stealing them. Look at these. Look how huge they are. Look.
They're huge.
No. No, this one's mine. Alright. This is fun.
I
It looks good on my shirt.
Can I do news reads every time we have Sherry's Berries?
Yes, you're allowed. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, it's on my boobs.